Caitlin Clark just put the entire WNBA on notice. And no, it's not only about her legendary three-point range anymore. For months, rumors have been swirling that she added serious muscle during the offseason. Now, the basketball world is buzzing about whether we're witnessing the birth of a whole new player, a superstar who might dominate the league for years to come. Is it hype, or has Clark truly become an unstoppable force? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why coaches are losing sleep over this upgraded version of Caitlin Clark. Rewind to Clark's early days, and you'll find a player who took college basketball by storm. She was draining deep threes, dishing out jaw-dropping assists, and racking up points as if the scoreboard were stuck on turbo mode. But despite her mind-boggling numbers, one narrative kept popping up. She looked a little undersized to face the rugged, physical style of the WNBA. The doubters weren't entirely off base. Opposing defenders often tried to wear her down, pushing her around on screens and bumping her off her path on drives. Some critics wondered if she could withstand 40 minutes of elite-level contact night after night. Yet Clark, even while absorbing those hits, rarely backed down. She was still dropping 20 to 30 points as if it were nothing. The real question was, how much better could she be if she stopped getting shoved around? But that was only the beginning. Clark, tired of being the target of physical play, decided to re-engineer her body in ways that very few second-year players ever do. As soon as the offseason kicked off, whispers began circulating. Caitlin was training like a beast in a weight room. Some fans spotted cryptic workout clips, while others claimed that they had heard from insider sources that Clark was turning into a muscle machine. Then came the confirmation from her coach Stephanie White, who flat-out stated that her star player wasn't just gaining a little muscle, she was transforming herself. Suddenly, screenshots of Clark in practice, arms visibly more defined, started popping up on social media. Comment sections exploded. Some believed she was morphing into a physically dominant guard who could barrel her way through contact. Others thought it was overblown, a typical off-season storyline exaggerated by hype. But as the preseason drew closer, the signs became impossible to ignore. Clark wasn't just stronger, she looked tougher. Rumors even emerged that she had added specialized trainers to her support team to improve not just her physique, but also her explosiveness. Everyone wanted to know, how was she pulling this off so quickly? If you've been following the breadcrumbs, it's clear Clark wasn't just casually lifting weights here and there. Word on the street is that she threw herself into a brutally intense regimen, often doing 2-a-day workouts, splitting her time between skill drills on the court and high-intensity strength circuits in the gym. The core focus? Functional strength that would translate directly to basketball movements. Some say she adopted a strict nutrition plan, possibly upping her protein intake and eliminating empty calories to pack on lean muscle without sacrificing speed. Then there's the rumored explosive training, sled pushes, plyometrics, and agility drills designed to make her unstoppable the moment she collides with a defender. While most WNBA players improve in the offseason, Clark's approach seemed almost obsessive, like she was determined not just to survive contact but to dish it out herself. And it's not just about physical workouts either. Insiders hint she's been studying hours of tape, pinpointing every scenario where she lost ground due to being outmuscled. Now, she's developing countermoves and tactics to turn those weaknesses into strengths. The result? We're seeing the rise of a guard who can weather the league's toughest defenders, then explode to the rim with newfound ferocity. So, what does all this added muscle and hyper-focused training look like in real games? Picture this: Clark drives into the lane, meets a defender shoulder to shoulder, and instead of bouncing away, she absorbs the contact, keeps her balance, and powers through for a layup. Those N1 finishes that used to rattle out are now dropping like clockwork. Her step-back three is still lethal, but now there's a new twist. If a defender closes out too hard, she'll blow past them, shielding the ball with the kind of upper body strength she didn't have before. And if a smaller guard tries to get physical, she can simply post them up. Yes, you heard that right. Clark has been spotted testing out post moves, using her stronger frame to back defenders down, then pivot for a quick floater or dish it out to a teammate cutting in the lane. Analysts are already throwing around jaw-dropping predictions. Some say she could be the first player to average a double-double in points and assists. Imagine a scenario where she's dropping 25 a night, but also racking up 10 or more assists because defenders are forced to double-team her the moment she begins a drive. That's a recipe for basketball chaos if you're the opposing team. As news of Clark's transformation ripples across the league, coaches are scrambling for answers. The scouting reports from last year aren't as effective now. One-on-one matchups that might have neutralized her in the past could be useless. Defenders who took pride in knocking her around are starting to realize they can't rely on that same tactic anymore. It's not just talk among fans either. Rival players are already acknowledging her physical evolution. Some are praising her work ethic openly. Others are quietly stewing, knowing that dealing with her new brand of physical play could be a season-long headache. In fact, several media outlets are pinning Clark as an early MVP favorite, even over veterans who've dominated award races in recent years. If she continues this trajectory, she might not just make the All-Star team. She could lead the league in multiple statistical categories and force an entire shift in how defenses approach her. But that isn't the whole story. Some critics wonder if this new style could open her up to more injuries. After all, throwing your body into the paint with added physicality means more collisions. Still, if there's one thing we know about Clark, it's that she doesn't back down from challenges. And that unflinching attitude is exactly what has defenders lying awake at night, replaying how they'll handle her next. Now, every time a young phenom shows signs of greatness, comparisons to legends start flying. Phrases like the next generational star and a once-in-a-lifetime talent get tossed around. Yet, with Clark, those statements don't feel far-fetched. Her offensive arsenal, now fortified by a stronger core and a bulked-up frame, could indeed be reminiscent of some all-time greats who used both finesse and physical dominance to conquer their era. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. Building muscle has its risks. Could this bulk slow her down or mess with her shooting rhythm? Sometimes when a player adds muscle too quickly, it takes time to adjust mechanics. Critics also ask if she might lose stamina by carrying extra weight, especially when WNBA schedules get grueling. Still, those who've watched Clark closely say she's refined her diet and conditioning so meticulously that any negative impact will be minimal. If anything, she looks even more explosive. The real question is whether other teams can catch up to her new level. Or is she simply setting a standard everyone else will be forced to chase? There's a bigger picture here. Clark's offseason transformation isn't just about her personal gains. It could spark a league-wide pivot towards more aggressive conditioning. Younger players might look at her example and realize that raw talent alone won't cut it at the highest level. You need strength, durability, and the willingness to push your body to new limits. If she keeps evolving at this pace, we could be watching the blueprint for a new kind of positionless star, a guard with the skills of a sharpshooter, the vision of a traditional point guard, and now the physical edge of a forward. Fans are speculating that if she secures an MVP or leads her team on a deep playoff run, she'll be well on her way to legendary status. And she's just getting started in her career. That raises the ultimate question. If Clark can elevate her play this dramatically after just one offseason, what will she look like in 3 or 4 years? Could she rewrite the record books in ways we've only seen once in a generation? We might be witnessing the dawn of a new era, one where a young star shatters expectations and drags the entire WNBA into uncharted territory. In the end, Caitlin Clark's transformation is more than just a dramatic story. It's a wake-up call for everyone in the league. She's reshaping her body, honing her craft, and stepping onto the court with an intensity that seems poised to dominate. So will this stronger, more assertive version of Clark turn the WNBA into her personal playground, or is she merely scratching the surface of her true potential? We want to hear your thoughts. Are we witnessing the birth of the league's next legend, or is this just the beginning of something even more colossal? Drop your take in the comments, subscribe for more insider breakdowns, and make sure you've got your notifications turned on, because this season, Caitlin Clark is coming in hot, and you won't want to miss a single moment of the action.